Welcome to the BLN Podcast. My name is Raul, and today we're going to do it a little different. Normally, I write a script and I read it with intention and then cut it up, but I think I need to change things a bit. I need to be more myself for you guys. And today's podcast, I want to talk about a little bit something different. So, as you guys know, I started EMS about 25 years ago, and I've been a paramedic for most of that time. I've done ground EMS, I've flown helicopters, I worked in the ER, and I'm back in the ground, right? Um, I've learned a couple of things in 25 years, hopefully. And I was thinking about myself the other day because I was talking to somebody at work and they had a really good compliment. They said they like listening to the show because it makes them feel like they have a big brother. This person had just started EMS within less than a year, just thrown out to the wolves. And she made me feel really good that my voice was helping people. So it made me think, what would I do differently if I were to start EMS today? If I was that 20-something-year-old full of excitement, wanting to start EMS again. And honestly, I would do a lot of things different for sure. Going back to that time is definitely something that I cherish a lot. I've had a lot of really hard lessons growing up in EMS, a lot of mistakes made, a lot of bad decisions that I made, especially when I first started. And if I could give some piece of advice to you guys listening, if you're just starting out, it's these few things. So I wrote some notes, what I would do differently, and kind of want to go talk about them a little bit. I might go off script, I might look down a little bit. We'll see. But I hope this helps you out. First, I would take care of my body more. For sure. Not that I'm unhealthy. I've always been pretty in good shape. I run a lot. I lift weights. I did CrossFit. I swam, not well, but I tried at least. And I can still go outside and run 5 miles if I wanted to, right? But if I can go back and take care of my body more, I would. And here's why. This job is highly, highly physical. You're going to be lifting heavy stuff. You're going to have that patient that is just going to be dead weight. They're going to be 300 pounds dead weight, and you're not going to be able to carry them. Or they're going to be stuck between the toilet and a wall, and you're going to have to figure out how to move them out of there, right? It's going to be difficult, especially if you're not strong enough, if you don't lift heavy weights. You're going to get stuck and you're going to get hurt. You're going to end up with some back injuries, which is very common in our industry. And I would say when I started, we didn't have electric stretchers. It was all lift. You and your partner had to be on one side of the stretcher and you on the other. And you had to like coordinate how to count correctly so that when you lift it, you could lift at the same time and not drop the patient. And sometimes the patients would be heavy, 300, 400 pounds, and sometimes heavier than that, and you had to lift them. And where I started, we didn't have fire responding with us on all the calls, or you couldn't request fire for lift assist because it was a small rural town back in South Central Texas. And it was difficult. I remember getting hurt a couple of times. I remember not being able to lift a patient and having to figure something else out because my partner and I couldn't do it because it was heavy. Um, So definitely taking care of your body, taking care of yourself from the beginning, making sure you're doing all the right things when it comes to going to the gym and lifting heavy so that you can protect yourself. That is definitely one thing that I would do differently. You have to respect your body and you have to want to do this and want to do this for the longevity without getting hurt. And it's not for aesthetics. It's not because I wanted the big, you want the big muscles or you want to, show off for the gym. It's because you just want to be able to go home without being injured and maybe not work again. Maybe you're the head of the household and you need to take care of yourself and your family. And if you can't work, then because you're hurt, then where does that put you? Where does that put them? So take care of yourself. Make sure you're strong enough to do the job. What else did I write? Let's see. Yeah. The body isn't separate from the job. The job is the body in this sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but you have to be it's just like an athlete, right? You have to, in order to perform well on the track or in the baseball field or the basketball field, you're going to have to train for that. this is the same thing. You have to train for the job. So some of the things that I would recommend that I would go back to is I would definitely do more deadlifts. I would definitely do more heavy squats. I would work on my core a little harder so that whenever it was taxed, whenever I was ready to bounce, it would be a little bit more protected. And I would do more research. Back then, the internet was just starting out, and we didn't have as many researchers as we do now. So you can research how to protect your back, how to make your back stronger. Highly recommend Stuart McGill for you guys. He's a back expert from Vancouver. He's been on tons of podcasts. Just look up The Back Mechanic. Um, Great book. Saved my back. Brought me back from injury. Um, so yeah, that's one of them. Number two. That's Walker number two. Let's see. Definitely. Oh yeah, this one for sure. I remember when I was little, I never wanted to go to sleep. I always wanted to stay up and wake up early and go play with my friends and my cousins in Mexico and sleep. I would always say, "Oh, I sleep when I'm dead," and now I just crave sleep. Like there's no end. My recovery is so dependent on sleep. I would go back and protect my sleep so much more now, way much more, because it's how you recover. It's how your body recovers from the stress, from the injuries, from the trauma, really, that we all go through in this field. So if you can sleep well, I know it's hard to sleep on shift. There's some systems out there that give breaks in the middle of the night. There's some others that don't. There's some busy systems that you'll be working standing 24s. And then some systems that you'll sleep soundly through the night. There's a lot of different schedules out there. I know there's like the 24/72s, there's the 96 48 is it 96, 4 days off, whatever that is. Can't math right now. It's late and I'm tired. Yeah, so different schedules out there. Make sure that whatever schedule you're on, there's one way that you can sleep, or when you come home, try to sleep more so that you can catch up on those hours of sleep. There's plenty of books out there on sleep and how to recover better or how to make your shift more durable. I know I've talked about another podcast about NSDR, non-sleep rest. It's a form of medication that kind of recenters your nervous system and allows you to feel a little bit more rested. I've actually tried it out several times on shift and it works really well. I tried it on my watch. I tested it to see how well I would recover. And in just 15 minutes, I ended up getting some more battery on my system, right? Uh, According to my Garmin. And yeah, definitely sleep because it matters. It matters a lot, especially when you get older. I know that when I did it in my younger days, it was so simple to just stay up and then go do stuff the next day and then not go to sleep until late night. And now I can't, I'm about to be 46 and I can't even do it. I would never think I could. I don't think I could do that anymore. I go 24 hours with no sleep and I am wrecked to the next day. Now, there is some new things that I've been trying to kind of help me with my sleep or my recovery, especially when I'm tired. I know Rhonda Patrick talks about taking high levels of creatine when you're tired or for jet lag. And I've tried it several times at work. It definitely does help, but it does not replace sleep. Sleep is the one thing that you can do. Harder on shift, recover after, make sure you go well rested into work. What's the next one? Okay. The next one's a little bit different. It's more mental. It's how you think, not just in the truck or in the back of when you train a patient, but in just general, right? How you think really matters. Your perspective matters. Your personality when you go in and how your level of negativity and positivity really matters. Yes. Make sure your mental health is on point and the way you're going thinking into a shift really resonates with you for that day. And let's talk about it two ways. So one is like protocols, right? You're gonna know your protocols. You're gonna know what to do with patient. You're gonna know if this happens, then I give this. Or this person has an allergic reaction. So okay, get the epi and the Benadryl ready, right? Let's get the steroids as well. And you're gonna have to think truly, and you're gonna memorize those protocols pretty much. If you work heavily and you care about the job, you're gonna memorize those things. And now the way you think changes how you implement them. If you're going with a negative attitude, or if you can't connect, as I've seen many times some paramedics do, they can't connect the knowledge with the action, that matters. You can recite to me all the protocols and exactly why this medicine works and how it works and how to deliver it properly and all that stuff. And you can tell me all about it on a scenario. But can you do it in real life? That's the question, right? And that is how you think really impacts this, because you have to be able to think critically on the moment at 3 o'clock in the morning, when you're tired, when you're deprived, you haven't eaten all day, you've been running back to back calls. It's going to affect how you think. So you have to be able to pull that information and apply it. You just gotta move fast. It's gonna move fast. Everything's gonna go quick, right? When you're in that situation. The second way to look at it is how you think, right? If you come in and you're mad that you're getting that call, and you're mad that this person called at 5 o'clock in the morning when you've been tired, and it's something that could have waited until the next day, or it's for a stub toe, or it's because they can't turn the TV down on their own, and literally people call for that. So how you go into those situations, how you think when you go into those situations matters a lot, because it can easily put you in a negative state, and it's going to bring you down, and it's going to make you negative throughout your career. Just knowing that you can't change those things when they happen really matters, because it disassociates how you see people versus what actually is going on. The more you go to those calls, because it's going to happen, the more you go to those calls, the more you're going to get annoyed, the more you're going to be angry, and then you're going to go home and you're going to be angry, or you're going to need to go back to the station, or you're going to be grouchy. And your partner has to be there with you. So they don't want to deal with somebody that's bad all the time or that's negative all the time. Those things are going to happen, whether you're there or not. How do you want to handle it? How do you want to show up as a person, or as a responder, or as a medic, or as a firefighter, or a police officer, whatever you are, right? How are you going to handle the negativity that comes on a daily? I would recommend reading Stoicism on one of my favorites, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca. They all talk about all of this in your mental state and how you can really change the things that you can't control. What else did I write? Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. Your home life. The job doesn't stay at work, not even a little bit. Used to think it did. I used to think, well, when I family, my parents, my wife, they would come home and they would have all these things to do for work, and they would be thinking about, I didn't do this, or I did this, or this patient, or this client, this, or this member, this. And I used to think that that's not me. That doesn't apply to me, because when I leave work, my patients stay at the hospital and they don't come home with me. And there's nothing that I did or didn't do that is left over after the call, right? You write your report, send it in, and that's it. That's not the case. You start thinking about, and you realize later that once the calls that you take home are usually the harder ones. It's going to be the kid that you couldn't bring back, you know, and they passed away. Or it's going to be the car wreck where there's severe trauma and there's kids or people thrown out of a car, and you're going to see broken bones in 5-year-olds. Or it's going to be gunshot wounds or mental abuse or physical abuse, or I went to one that was like the husband beat up the wife really, really bad, and then when we got there, he was holding the baby. I didn't realize that those calls stay with me way longer than I wanted it to. And I did an episode with Tanya Glenn, and I really, really recommend, if you guys ever feel like you're bringing too much home, go see a therapist, go talk to somebody, or not a therapist, just find somebody to talk to, whoever you feel comfortable with, because what you bring home really affects it. It really follows you. Another thing that I would say in the home life is that you are not the job. As much as we become part of the job, and the job is part of who we are, you are not the job. You will never be the job. You're you. You go home, you're still going to be you. When I come home, I'm still Raul. And I try to do things that make me Raul. I have hobbies. I started this podcast. I like to exercise. I go ride my bike. I go hike, take trips. You are not the job. At the end of the day, when I die, it's not going to say Raul, paramedic, you know, it's going to say Raul, father, husband, son. Those things matter. Don't become the job. Make sure you can separate that, so that when you're home, you're you and not the job. It really changes how you show up. when you are at home and how you show up for other people, even your friends. All right, let's see what else I wrote. This one's a good one. Don't try to figure all of this out alone. You are not alone. There's plenty of people out there that you can learn from. Try to find good mentors. If it's in the job, try to find paramedics that you look up to, that you respect, and try to learn from them. Try to, be their partner for a while so that you can learn from them, or friend them so that you can ask them questions. Send them a text saying it's like, hey, made up Jane, Johnny, or Bob. Could I ask you questions about medicine or about life in the job in EMS? You've been doing this for a while and I'm just starting. I really want to know it from you. Or is it okay if I ask you questions randomly? I am 100% sure they'll say yes. We like that attention. So make sure that those people that you find for yourself are good-hearted, and they're not, somewhere where you don't want to be in the future. Try to find somebody that matches the version of yourself that you want to be 20, 10 years, 30 years from now, and try to see what they did right and what they did not right. Find good mentors. And if it's outside the job, make sure you find people that you respect. And for all of us that have been doing this longer, there's a lot of people that I look up to that are younger than me and been doing this for a whole lot less time that I respect a lot. There's a guy where I work that I respect a lot. He started out young. He started out as a explorer person and then got his EMT and became a basic where we work, and now he's a paramedic, and now he is part of a tactical team with SWAT. This guy I respect a lot. Is everything that I wish I could have been back then. He has his finances in place. He's getting married soon, and he's got a good life. He's got a good mentality about everything. And I wish I could have been more like that when I was younger. I'm not that I'm not happy where I am now, but he is doing things how I wish I could have done them back in the day. And I respect that. So I talk to him all the time. I said, let me text, how you doing, man? How's it going? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? So it's not just for the young people looking up. All of us too that have been doing this for a while, we can learn a lot from people that are just starting out. Even if it's just how to get that excitement back from, when we started. A lot of times we lose that. I know I've lost it a couple of times. You just show up to work and you do the job and you move on, and you don't get that adrenaline rush anymore. It's hard to get back. So make sure you find people that you can learn from, whether you're in the early stages of your career or you're in the late stages of your career. Find somebody you respect. I would say the next one is, I wrote it down as paying attention. Make sure you pay attention to yourself and and realize that you forget more than you think. So always try to keep up with the protocols, with the medicine, with the circumstances, with the new changes in your system, wherever you are, whether you're a firefighter, paramedic, or a cop. Try to stay sharp, keep your head on a swivel, keep learning, keep doing the things that motivate you to be better, because you forget. I know I have forgotten more than I can remember about paramedic school. It was 25 years ago, and definitely don't remember half of it. But I keep up with my protocols, and I keep up with the medicine, and I try to watch podcasts on medicine, and I read books on medicine, and I try to stay up with the times because things change and you're going to forget a lot of things. So keep paying attention to all those things. Don't stay the status quo, if I could say that about paying attention. Let's see what's the next one. Okay. Yeah, no, that's it. I didn't write anything else. I want to close with this. This job will shape you. It will change you dramatically throughout your career. It might change you in positive ways. It's going to help you be more vigilant. It's going to help you see people differently in a positive way. It's going to help you respect yourself and others. It's going to give you clarity and understanding of a world that you never knew before. That doesn't exist around you. Right? I always joke that in the city that I work with, a lot of people are moving in. The city that I work in, a lot of people are moving into that city. And I don't see why, because all I see is the bad stuff. But then I go to that city and I, gonna go to the river or go downtown or go eat with friends, and it's like a different vibe. So you're gonna learn a lot. So this job will shape you on how you see people and how you see yourself. Make sure you stay guarded about that and understand that that's inevitable. Can't even think I can't even speak right now. That's inevitable. Right? Anyway, that's all I want to say. Make sure you pay attention to yourself, to all the things that we were talking about. If you have any suggestions of what you think you would do differently, just let me know. We'll talk about it in the comments. Or if you have any input or advice that you want me to share, also let me know in the comments. If you were to start over, or if you were just starting, what do you want to do differently? And if you've been doing this for a while, what would you do differently? Anyway, that's it for this episode. We'll see you on the next one. I have a good one coming up in a few days. We'll see you around.